Hello, everyone. Welcome to the next episode of Against the Tide, a series of interviews and discussions with artists who sort of push against the mainstream narrative of the mainstream way of things working within their form, but also the politics as well, and trying to trace their journeys and their ideas around cultural resistance. So, this episode is a special episode because it's also happening within our October Jam. This year, the Jam is called Ways, and it sort of focuses on the idea of pushing against the singular narrative and way that's being imposed upon us, both socially and politically, in the country and also in other ways. And throughout this jam, we're trying to interact with and showcase performances by people who sort of push against the narrative and sort of open up new ways of imagining things and sort of speaking towards realities which often don't get a space to be shown also. So, with this in mind, we are very, very happy to have Clan Bokkaphod and Pasha Bhai and Farhan as well from One and a Half with us today. Who I think it's quite interesting to have them today because, especially with Pasha Bhai and Clan Bokkaphod, they've been really over the last. We've known Pasha Bhai for the last 4 5 years, seen the journey in from a couple of steps back, but just seen some of the things that are coming out that sort of push the narrative of what the city of Bangalore is, who inhabits it, and opens up a new way and a new realization of like what it means to live in the city as well. So, without further ado, I mean, like, I think maybe we could just start off with you guys could just introduce yourselves a little bit, just tell us who you are, and we can get into
So guys, this is Demixx. I'm Pasha Bhai's music producer and a e-friend. Pasha's e-friend.
Yeah, my name is Mohammad Afan Pasha, and people call me Pasha Bhai. Other people call me Pasha Bhai. And yeah, I am representing One and a Half and Clan Bokkaphod.
My name is Farhan Ahmed, and my stage name is Agaahi, and I represent One and Half and Clan as well. But we are not friends. Yeah, we are friends in real life. And what the fuck was that?
This is Syed Ahmed, representing Clan Bokkaphod. Stage name to same here. There is no changes in that. Yeah.
My name is Mohammad Shir Pasha. Call me Maddie. It's my friend Pasha Bhai. So, fuck. Brothers. We are the two brothers. Hashtag.
Nice. Thanks. So, I mean, maybe to start off, you guys could just tell us a little bit about where you guys come from. I know some of you guys grew up together and stuff like that. So maybe you can tell us like starting point of like where you guys come from, how you guys met each other, and go from there.
I think my oldest friend here is Madiba. I've known him since school, and we've practically grown up together, and we see each other every day. And for the last, I don't know how many years, more than 15, 15 साल से ऊपर रे अब भी ज़्यादा अब भी ज़्यादा and yeah, I've known we come from a neighborhood in Bangalore which is called Neelasandra, and I was born and brought up there along with Maddie and also Syed. I think I know Syed from my 7th grade or something. But after I started making music and started connecting with other artists, I found out through a friend of mine about Agaahi Bhai, and that is how we met. And the same thing happened with Demixx also. Demixx was making beats for a friend of mine, and then he introduced me to Demixx, and since then, yeah, the journey has been wild.
So I'm basically from Chintamani. It's a town like 74 kilometers from Bangalore. Uh, I was just making beats for some random ass rapper until I met Pasha Bhai and I found out what rapping was really. So after that, it's been like we've been working together on some good stuff. Like now, I really like hip hop.
Yeah, so I'm from Delhi and I moved to Bangalore back in 2017. It was for work. That time I wasn't like really doing hip hop, but in 2019 I was like, okay, I'm done just doing what I'm doing, and I had a knack for like rapping hip hop, like since my school days. So now I had the resources, and I was like, okay, I can like do things of my own. That's the timing. In March 2019 I started like just dropped couple of one music video actually, and then after that we met. So there was this WhatsApp group on which like I got to know about Afan, and then we met in Ramzan. At that point of time, one iftar we had together, and that's how I met Afan. And we were just discussing music, and he just spit one verse from Ye Hai Siyasat at that point of time, and I'm like, bro, I want to do something like this. So let's work together. And that was me just meeting Afan, we discussing, bro, we should do cipher. And randomly one day he's like, bro, we are doing this cipher, and 1.5 just came up. And it's a journey after that. And that's how like it's a journey which has like its own ups and downs. We have seen a lot of things together. We have made music. We have known the industry. We are still knowing it, and the journey has been wild. Like, and we have seen it together. So that's how the industry knows us now. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so basically I'm from Bangalore itself, born and brought up over here, and in the same neighborhood we are together, me, Madiba, and Pasha Bhai. And coming to the, I know this guy. There is nothing like that. मतलब we became just friends, like we don't have any reason कि मतलब कोई memory भी नहीं है अनजाने में. For an example, we used to just see each other कहीं पे भी, मतलब we are just walking somewhere and we just, I saw him, Pasha, and he saw me. We used to run to each other without reason. We just used to run to each other, actioning to the fights and everything. There was nothing like that, so we became friends. And there was like once I just joined college, okay, coming I just completed my 10th SSLC, and I went to first PU. Coming to the first PU part, I'm just sitting in the bench. There are no friends of mine. There are no peoples. And I saw this guy coming in the rush over there. He's shouting, looking at me, and I'm shouting, looking at him. We're like, oh, तू आ गया bro इधर पे, तू आ गया, तू क्यों आया इस college में? ऐसे we were shouting at each other. And then coming to the music part, I am interested in music since 7th standard itself. I used to just sing songs in schools, in singing competitions. Coming to the malls part, they used to give some competitions and everything. I used to go there and sing and everything. Basically, my journey from related to music, like it was not totally related to hip hop. I just started listening to the Bollywood music and coming to the classical part. So basically, I learned more over that in that, and later I met Afan. Even he was interested in rapping. We both met and we just like let's do something, and nothing happened. कुछ हुआ नहीं, बस सोच रहे थे कि करते हैं कुछ करते हैं, वो अब कुछ हुआ नहीं था. And coming to another part, we just did a song together, किस्मत. थोड़ा वहाँ पे मतलब I just got encouraged कि मतलब नहीं, कुछ होता है यहाँ पे, कुछ कर सकते हैं. And later I was a very camera shy person. कभी भी फोटो भी लेता हूँ तो फेस नहीं दिखाता हूँ, पीछे से ले रहे फोटो, सीनरी दिखा दो. I was that kind of a person, and this guy was like खुदा गवाह. We just made a track खुदा गवाह together, and he was like, भाई आना है, कैमरे पे आना है, कुछ भी कराना है. नहीं, इज्जत ही नहीं है, गाली दे के बोल रहा है आना है कैमरे पे, दूसरा कोई रीजन नहीं है.
So basically, I'm from Bangalore, same area, same place for Neelasandra. I'm looking for Pasha by 24 years. Yes, brother. 24 years. 20, 24. 20, Hey, नहीं रे. 24. जब से देखा 20 साल. इसमें 20 years. So afterwards, Pasha Bhai is going on 8 years of rapping that. He's singing. Main out. That time. Yeah, he will sing, he will write and everything. Pasha Bhai. So he's
So, so you guys basically, like 3 or 4 of you guys all grew up in the same neighborhood, right? And that's sort of what ties the clan together, almost from what I understand. So, what does like this idea of neighborhood mean to you guys?
A home and comfort, and it's really a safe haven actually, to sort of put it into words, because like that sort of gave us our identity. Wherever we go, people ask us, where are you from? We say Neelasandra. like that is the first word that comes out of our mouth, because like that neighborhood has shaped us as a person. Like the experiences there, the life there, living with the people amongst like the who are in the neighborhood, like that has taught us so much and shaped our personality in a way that now people look at us and they're like these people are built different. No, the neighborhood is built different.
So, like, maybe you could tell us some of those experiences or something that, so part of that shaping of who you guys are.
Right. So one small experience is that in my third standard, we were walking home. क्या भी घर को आ लगते हैं पंसारी के दुकान करने से. Me, Madiba, and Nimbuda. We were walking home from school. We all used to walk together, and there was a person in the area, Kamal Gargobal ko. He was a victim of substance abuse, and like he was basically a victim of the violence, the violent side of Neelasandra, right? He was associated with gangs and all that, and he was like there was an attempt to murder on him a few days back, and somehow he survived and he was taken to a hospital and he was being treated, and we were walking back home, and we cross we're as we're passing by his house, we hear a lot of screaming and crying and all of that, and we run towards the house, like, because you hear it, you instantly go, right? Like someone needs help, and we see this person lying dead in his mother's lap, and like there's still tubes and all of that attached to his body. So apparently he ran away from the hospital and came back home because he couldn't be there for whatever reasons. But yeah, we were young kids, like third standard, and we were just walking home. We did not, when we woke up that morning, we did not expect to see someone die in front of us, right? And the main reason for that was the neglect of um, authorities in the area, and a lot of there are a lot of factors that affected, but at the end of the day, a mother lost her son, and a brother's lost a brother, and he was the youngest of like all four brothers, and that's one thing. And during my 8th standard, we were playing like that. There's this sport we call head ditch, where you hit the ball with your head.
Right.
Yeah. So there was a field near my house, and there's a drainage sewer there. नाला है उधर रे. तो नाले के पास खेलते रहते थे. तो one of us hit the ball and it went and fell inside the mori. So one of our friends went to get the ball back, and he found a dead body inside the nala. And then like we're still kids. I'm in like literally my 8th standard. Like that has just started for me, and we all panic, and but still astonished, and like we want to see what happened and who this is. Like curiosity is there, but that person, I think that person was dead for 3 days or so, because the body was swollen and the skin was all coming out. Is it too graphic? I don't know. The skin was all peeling out, and you couldn't recognize his face anymore. And then the police came. Then a lot of rescue teams came, and they picked up the body and tried to identify it. I think it took like some 1 week to identify the body and hand it over back to the family. I think the victim's name was Imran, and he was from the next neighborhood.
So, sorry. So, thank you for sharing that. So you guys all came together, grew up in the same neighborhood, and from what I understand, that what also drew you all together is that you guys also ride together. Could you tell us
Sometimes.
a little bit about that as well?
Yeah. Firstly, I want to complete the previous story. I said that because we've seen these things happen to people that we know, we've seen, we've spoken to, right? We've uh, and this could also be us tomorrow, and we could end up like that. And it's scary for, I mean, whatever may happen to us, but at the end of the day we have a family to take care of, right? And to leave that behind and end up like this uh, was not a good choice. So I always wanted to become something else, something more that can, like change this, or I don't know, it was a childish dream, but I'm still chasing it. So that is how Neelasandra shapes you as a person. And about the writing part, I think everyone started writing on their own, like in their own private spaces. Like they used to write, and then whenever like मौका है दस्तूर है तो करने का बनता अगर को बोल को, like we used to bunk colleges and sit, bunk schools and sit and all that. तब like we used to say like, see, this is what I wrote yesterday, and that is how the process, like this all this thing began. I was writing, Marwan was writing, Shoaib was writing, Zayed was writing, Nimbuda was writing in his head. I think I don't know about Syed, maybe he was also writing in his head, but a lot of writers were there. But once we started making music and doing performing together, like me and Shoaib, I think started to perform together first. Syed bhi मैं भी घर को ही, but Syed did not write back then. And me and Shoaib started to perform into college spaces and all that. So we kind of sat together and wrote a few things. That is how the writing process started. Now, if we want to make a song, like last night, yeah, these guys made a song, and I let them talk about it.
I mean, the writing process is funny. We talk a lot of bullshit. Like we listen to random ass songs on YouTube, and we just vibe to them. And we are like, bro, something is missing on YouTube. That's our lyrics. So we sit and we brainstorm together. Like Pasha lays down the hook. We come up with some good hooks, mad hooks, legendary hooks. Yeah, I love his hooks.
So when you say that you guys feel like something is missing from YouTube, or generally also like in the music that you guys hear, what do you guys feel like is missing over that you guys feel like you guys need to fill that gap?
Reality is missing. Like our reality is missing. Yeah, no hate for anyone, but what we have in mind, the other guy will not have in his mind. So we are speaking out ill mind.
We cannot completely relate to someone else's story, right? There's always this hunger to tell our story. I think that is how my writing journey started. I kept listening to a lot of songs. I could relate to some parts here and there, but the whole story wasn't mine. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna write my own story.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Same shit.
So yeah, the self satisfaction is missing still.
So how did you guys get the why? What drew you to rap? And
Because I couldn't sing. Yeah. Yeah. I wanted to sing. I was a like, my mom is a Bollywood freak. You can ask her, like you can play her a song and ask which movie this is from. She'll tell you the name of the actor, the actress, the director, the producer, the production house, the label, like she used to like put all this information in my head. See, this is Yashraj Films, this is T Series, that is Gulzar, that is this person, and they wrote this song. This is Shah Rukh Khan's first movie, Deewana, and all this information, like random information, is in my head. And like and it's useful for me because I also got interested into music. She used to hum, and I think that is where I got my influence of music. I used to keep singing, but I couldn't understand most of what was happening. So I used to switch up lyrics. Like I used to change the Hindi song into my own mother tongue. I didn't know what I was doing back then, but the journey of being a Dakhni, I think that was naturally coming out from back then. I used to change up lyrics from like change Hindi words to Dakni words and sing the same song, the same composition, and all that. So that is how my influence in music started. But I wanted to sing, but I wasn't a good singer, and I could imitate, I could
Hmm.
mimic other artists, but I couldn't sing well. So I came across Honey Singh, Raftar, Ikka, and all these people. Then I heard about the underground, the Western hip hop, and all that. Like, fuck, rap is easy. You don't have to sing. Like people are there, just there, successful in rap with ugly ass voice, right? Which is not pleasant to hear. But then I found out more about what exactly hip hop is, and
Right.
like how empowering it is, where it originated, and how it sort of formed. And since then it's been a different journey altogether. Yeah, that is how I started to rap.
For me, like, uh, as I said, I was listening to hip hop back in school, but then life happened. Left like listening to the songs and everything for a very long time when I was just working. Uh, I was not listening to hip hop, so I was like entirely disconnected. But when I came back that time in 2019, Divine was like really popping off, and his songs and everything was there, and I heard him back in my school time. There was Bohemia who came in India and in Delhi around that time. A lot of like Punjabi rappers, like they just came up and they were trying to do what Bohemia was doing, but all the baggy clothes, they legit have got like the style of how you will perceive a rapper at that point of time. And they were doing shows, etc. And I was like looking at everything. Uh, then the writing process for me when I started off was just to like I want to express, and at that point of time, because like the regime was already there and a lot of things were happening around, so me for me the target was okay, I want to write about my community. And it was initially it was like at from a very top view, okay, what my community is feeling, but I wasn't adding my personal experience to that. And then later when I have started writing now, what I see my journey in like what I'm writing is more from like a personal experience, what as a Muslim I have experienced. Or and also uh, thanks to when clan Bokkaphod came out and Pasha was like really talking about Neelasandra. So in Delhi, I come from a place called Ramesh Park, and I could definitely see when I went to Neelasandra, I could see like there are similarities. Again, Neelasandra is again like a Muslim dominated ghetto, you can call, very neglected entirely, like with all the like civic amenities what are there. Same was with Ramesh Park. So in my that particular area, the ATMs are there but they won't work. And the similar story he's telling, so like violence is there, like people are just fighting, the fights happening in the houses and everything. So that really gave me more perspective that I can literally talk about from where I'm coming. I might have like I moved from that place, I'm out, but I'm coming from that, and I want to like really talk about my upbringing in that place, what I have seen, because I was there. I could see like I saw a sword fight randomly just happening. People, two gangs came out, one was from some other area, and then this they were like just taking the swords out, and the entire neighborhood, all the shops were closed. And this is happening like over a span of 10 minutes, and I'm outside. I could see my father is there panicking in the balcony, like come back. And I'm just standing there, what is happening? So all those things, I have stories, and like I want to just express those stories out. So yeah, that's how your writing process always been. Like technically you just listen to the beat, you vibe to it, and then whatever you feel in your head, you start to write across the same lines. So yeah, that's about it.
So I mean, from what you guys have been telling me, and also like from the stuff that I've seen from the concert you guys did at BIC, also your music videos, and so lyrically as also visually, I think there's a very different sort of like, even on your Instagram, for example, it's a very different sort of picture of Bangalore, for example, or like the way that you talk about the area that you come from in Delhi. Um, what drives that to create this alternate sort of picture? Whether it's like, how do you come up with that? How do you push that? Either as Clan Bokkaphod, as Pasha Bhai.
So mainly I think the vision comes from like the things that the music talks about and the way the music sounds and what it represents. And Vaishnav, you know Vaishnav, right? Vaishnav made music videos for Eid Ka Chand, Kumbhakarna, Pasha Bhai, and that is, I think, my best visual work till date. And he kind of, figures out a way to portray the exact imagery that is in the music, and like brings out the same imagery in the visuals and blends them both. I think that that person does a commendable job. Apart from that, I think all these fucking little ass rappers go and just like, if it's a hip hop video, let's go shoot in the Church Street graffiti, like some fuck call shit.
And the bridge, foot over bridge as well, right?
Yeah,
There's
the
one.
Domlur
Domlur, yeah. Domlur or
skywalk.
Eco Space as well, I have seen,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
That red
That
bridge.
that is all
Oh,
like
fuck.
abused and overused, and that is not the spaces that we represent. We come from a different place. We talk about different things. We are born to different people. People who need to be shown, who need to be heard, who need to be represented. Not some church street wall graffiti some rich ass fucker has made. Like, this is what we are, and this is what we represent. This is where we come from. This is what you'll have to see.
I mean, could you take us through like we see the albums coming out and all, but and we've seen some of the videos, but could you take us through some of the imagery and some of the thinking behind the imagery, both in the writing and in the way that you guys show it through the visuals and stuff like that?
Okay, so first comes the music, and sometimes what happens is that Mr. Demixx beat sends me a fire ass beat, and like I just flip over. Like, I'll tell you our first experience, right? I was making a song called it doesn't matter now, uh, but I was making a song and I had a chorus in my head. So I wanted something like a beat that brings out the original flavor of that. And I tell this to a friend of mine who was supposed to be a feature on the track, and tell him, like, explain him in words what the vibe I'm looking for. And he goes to his producer, which is this man, and he explains the vibe. And this guy sends a beat, and that guy sends me the beat. I hear the beat, I'm like, what the fuck? This is exactly what I had in my mind, right? Like, this is someone who just brought out like my creative thinking and presented it sonically back to me. And I flipped. And since then, every beat that he makes is the same experience. I don't think the experience is gonna ever change. But yeah, sometimes the beat comes first, or sometimes the lyrics come first. For example, Pasha Bhai. Pasha Bhai is a song that I wrote first. Like, it was almost some 40% done. एक वर्स और chorus done tha so uska. And I tell him the idea. Like, I work with different producers, but things did not work out. And I tell this man the idea of like, this is how the chorus is gonna be, that is how the verse is gonna be, and he starts the production and he makes the beat, and that is what you hear today. So that starts. And the way I write lyrics is, I have a subject in my head, and the whole song revolves around that. For example, Kumbhakarna. Kumbhakarna is a subject, right? It's a character. It's a lazy person who doesn't like to work, but or he only likes to eat and sleep. And so there's that subject, and I try to tell how my story connects with that subject, and tell my part of the, like, the story of my life in parts that are relatable to this subject. And that is how I construct a storyline or a song. And then visually I explain these things, we explain these things to Vaishnav, and Vaishnav makes a image in his head, and like, he's already seen the whole movie. Now he just has to shoot, and we don't plan anything. like none of it is planned. It goes like he gets the vibe and he takes me out and we go out. We're just like, okay bro, यहाँ shot लेना है, ये shot लेना, वो करना, ये करना, वो करना, like एक रात में खत्म कर लिए. We come back, we see, okay, there's enough footage, no, we need more, let's go one more day. And we come back, okay, this is enough, let's go sit, edit, put it out.
Like, how do you choose the spaces that you're shooting? For example, like you very clearly said that there's certain parts of Bangalore that are the main things that rappers used to shoot. Like, how do you choose the spaces that you're featuring as part of your visual?
So I choose places that I've hung out in. I've been like spending some time. For example, Makka Cafe, right, in Johnson Market. क्या भाई कॉलेज मंगमार को हंजा को दमान चाय हमारे लायक बड़े रहते थे. एंड शिवाजी नगर, वो तो मतलब घर के जिस अच्छे सवेरा ये वो. So like it's just places that are real to us, right, where we have actually spent time at, because we did not have anything else to do and anywhere else to go, so we're just chilling around with friends and all that's happening. So this is how I choose places. In Kumbhakarna there is also Tilak Nagar. Tilak Nagar was where my father was born, and before I was born, like my family stayed there, my father's side. Mother's side was always Neelasandra only. So after I was born, we moved to JP Nagar, and 2 3 years I've spent there, and then moved back to Neelasandra. So that this is how I kind of like operate. Like this place is relatable to me, to my life. There is a story of there's my story in this space, and it needs to be documented. And I tell this to Pucha, and he's like, fuck yeah, let's go. Yeah.
I mean, so this question's for everyone. Like, from all that you guys spoke about, the fact of representing a certain identity to representing the neighborhood that you're from, why do you think it's like, whether it's the lyrics or the visuals or the music, for example, why do you think it's very important in this climate that we're in, social and political climate that we're in, that you guys are feel like it's important that it comes out in this form right now?
Uh, so like as you talked about the environment, right? So I feel like there is this constant, like narrative that we have to like just delete this identity of Muslims. And this, of course, this has a lot of like historical background to it. It's just not a phenomena that is happening overnight. This has been like there since a long time, but pressure to like really, okay, now it's the time. They are actually just following the plan. So anything like an identity can be your language, how you dress up, what foods you eat, what is your background, the history that you're coming from. Everything is being kind of just erased. Books are being changed, the syllabus is being changed. What we eat, it is being like controlled. You can't eat that. I mean, all the aspects of a culture, that the identity that we come from, it's being like erased. There is this intentions are just to erase this entire community, their identity. So what I feel like, we have to document that, because documenting and like hip hop gives us the medium to like kind of put our narrative out there like that. So that's something that I feel we are doing, and that is why it becomes so important. And that's like Afan has already mentioned, like he talks about Neil Sandar. So like he wants to document that entire neighborhood and the identity and what it holds. Even if it is raised tomorrow, we still tried. I mean, that's my perception over the entire thing.
Um, Firstly, I would like to say that I was always confused about my identity, because the first thing that we are taught after we open our eyes in the world is to speak. Like random people are trying to make a baby speak, right? And like the child learns his mother tongue, and we were told that Urdu is our mother tongue, which then I started to question, because the people who speak Urdu are sounding different to me.
Hmm.
And when I try to communicate with them, they're like, which language is this?
Hmm.
And now I've started thinking, wait, why am I not being accepted here? Like, what is different? Like, we're both the same, we both look the same, we both come from similar cultures, and still that person thinks I'm speaking a different language, and that kind of put me in a state of confusion. And I started doing like more research about what language this region speaks, and then that is how I came to know about Dakhni. And a lot of scholars, a lot of journalists, a lot of friends helped me identify the language, the origin, the history, and the culture altogether. And before that, I did not know what my identity was, so I did not know what to exactly represent. And once that was clear, now I'm like, okay, wow, this whole oppression of the identity and trying to erase it has been going on from centuries, and they've been successful because in school, in my class, like I've studied a lot, and I've never heard the word Dakhni in my the school syllabus or anything, like, because it is not there, because they chose not to include this part of the history.
Hmm.
They chose to like just let it out and not talk about it. So, like, always, even before I was born, my culture, my identity has been excluded from the mainstream. And when I found out, I was like, fuck it, this is what my purpose is here, this is what I'm put here to do. Like, bring it up and put it in front of the whole world. Like, this is what Dakhni is, this is what Dakhnistan is. And yeah.
Nice. It's okay. It's okay. We can.
Dakhni, Dakhni for life.
Yeah, so when I was kind of making, like, reading, researching about this language and everything, I used to have a long phone calls with this guy. Because he's the only musician, the Dakhni speaking musician that I know of, who is in hip hop. Right? I cannot discuss it with anyone else, because, like, this is a person who speaks the language and we're on the same. Yes, bro. Like, this has been happening. So that is why I call him partner in crime, because yeah, we've had long night conversations, and you can call it pillow talks also. Yeah, is that the right thing to say? Yeah.
How's it been for you guys though? Like, so you guys have done shows now in Zero, for
Yeah,
example.
yeah. Thank you, Mara, for that. Thank you so much, Angarika, for that.
But you guys have done.
Ojas bhai, shout out to Shetty.
But yeah, you guys have done shows in like from places like Zero to you guys have done shows in professional venues in Bangalore as well. But you guys have also done shows in Neelasandra. You guys have done stuff at government schools and stuff like that. So I think how does it work out for you? Like where do you where do you place your how do people respond to your music across these different spaces? And like where do you think is your where do you want to like place your music within this wider market that's
Everywhere.
there everywhere?
I've already answered that question, right? I've told that I want to put Takni in front of the world. Like, see, this is what I am, this is where I come from, and this is what I hold high.
But has there been challenges for you, for example, to put in like a professional venue or occupy that space, given all the things that you've already spoken about as well?
Ever since I was born, everything has always been challenging. There is a bar from Divine, which I will hold close to myself, I think for my entire life, which says, दुर्घटना है वो तो बचपन से ही घट रही है इस जंगल के कहानी में शिकारी मेरे जंगली. लाइक, दुर्घटना है मतलब पैदा हुए तब से है, हो रहा है. Challenges have been there, and that is how we evolve. by overcoming or by tackling. Like doesn't matter if you win or lose, like you always get to learn, right? शुरू कर इस दिन जीत के.
But sorry. But in terms of the wider rap scene, there seems, at least from our perspective, there's like this very massive corporatization. Sorry, from our scene perspective, like there's a bit of a corporatization of the entire rap scene, right? So like, and an appropriation of like a lot of the things that you guys have been talking about as well. So how do you see your own music in relation to that entire thing?
So yeah, I think first of all, the corporatization of hip hop, like hip hop has become mainstream now, and everyone wants to put money in hip hop and get money out of, you know. So that brings a lot of opportunity, but it also brings a lot of bias and like like some favorism, some favoritism. You know, some random ass rapper is landing good on the drunk audience, and brands only want him. Like there's no one else that is being approached, or like there's no one else even being looked at, and like and rapper is the only one brands give a fuck about. They're like, producer, what do we do? We don't know, bro. Like, yeah, you made the beat, so what? Engineer, like, we don't care. Just the face. They only want to take care of the face, but only certain faces, that also faces that belong to certain communities, coming from certain places. Like, like there's always all the artists like us, artists like for certain Arivu, right? Arivu has been going through a lot of industry politics lately, and everyone has been witnessing that, and that is happening to a person like Arivu, who is making the chart busting, like chart topping songs. And imagine artists like us who don't have the numbers, and how much we'll have to go through, and like how much we've had to go through, and moving forward we will have to see more of that. And it is difficult, but again, we're from Neelasandra.
Yeah, also to like add on to the industry point, like in the past couple of years I've seen like this influx of some services that were not there earlier but just coming in, and but again they care about the number. The there are certain something like that. So one influx has just come in. Okay, we are providing you these services, and everybody like the good point about this is like a lot of artists have become aware of certain things. Okay, we were making music, we are still making music, but okay, we have to go out. There are certain things like an artist manager we have to get. There are distribution services we have to get. There are a lot of things that we have to work on. And some industry folks came in and they're like, okay, we provide all this, but no, we won't take you. You don't have the streaming numbers already. We can't take you on board because you don't already have a number, and things like that, which I feel like, okay, fair from a business perspective, but not really fair for all of us. Like, how then again, like this is very narrow and it's just going to some particular artist who has already got the numbers. So I don't know what kind of growth is that. What has it been like bringing in, if you are like just focused on some few faces which already were in focus from like before all this happened. Like no new stories
I
you were
mean,
like
like
working
if
in.
I'm the person who is bringing my art and also the numbers to the table, then what the fuck are you doing? Money, I can get it from any other brand. I can get it from any other corporate. Like, why do I choose you, right? If you're willing to back me in this stage, we might have a long-term relationship. We might go a long way, but you tell us that you don't have certain numbers, you don't meet our criteria, and I'm sorry, we can't work with you, then fuck you.
Hmm. But
Yeah.
Yeah, like language as well. Like uh, reality shows are happening for rap now. But the biggest like limitation to that is it is again specifically Hindi, and again there are a lot of censorship as well. They would want you to make songs good. I appreciate that there is a reality show and a lot of like rappers are going getting identified and everything, but I feel like the criteria and the language barrier, like where are the other languages apart from Hindi? That's like why those are not there. Why the audience, it's just okay because the Hindi speaking audience is there and it is like easily understood by a large population, because they can encash on that, they can get the business. It is what it is. This is what rap is. And in general, for a bigger audience, again, then limitations are going across. Nobody. What if like somebody wants to like rap in Dakkani? I have seen like comments on his videos where people are saying समझ नहीं आया but सुन के अच्छा लगा. Cool, like you have just said that it's fine, but also like understand the background and everything.
Hmm.
And these media houses and big people who are coming, there's this influx, they have to be more like appreciative of other languages, other expressions and stories as well, is what I feel. I don't know when it will happen, but it should definitely happen because we are doing what we are doing already. But yeah, if you're claiming that you are supporting the scene and you are here for the artists and everything, I mean, come on, show it in your actions as well, not just by the words.
What a
But we cannot completely say that like nobody is trying to change this. A lot of people are trying to change it. A lot of people who we know and who we've seen are trying to change this. For example, there was this show Spotlight, and which included all the languages, and it was really interesting to see how like all these people coming from different places, different cultures, who speak different languages fit in the same space, and on what criteria they are being judged, and like all this is also happening. That is also at the end of the day, like priority is money, but they're also trying to push the culture and trying to look at the larger picture. So I think someday it'll work out. It's still a struggle to, like, it's still too early to say how much time it'll take, but yeah, there is a start. There are people like my friend AKX, um, who are trying to like build a culture and change the culture. Like it'll all happen in time.
so outside of like the money and the management and things like that, also in terms of keeping true to like some of the stories that you are talking about, and also performing it, I know that you perform also in Neelasandra and all. What does that process mean to you in terms of like doing those shows over there? And
um I don't look at it as a performance. I like whenever I'm performing for an audience who is of that background, right, in that space, I don't look at it as a performance. I'm just having a conversation with the people, because like unlike my shows where people do not completely understand what I'm saying, like they enjoy with the beats, they enjoy with the flows, like they fuck with the appearances, the energy and everything, they bounce to it and everything, but they don't respond immediately to what I am saying. But when I'm performing in spaces like this, in Neelasandra, in Shivaji Nagar, in अभी हमारा तिलक नगर, Tani Road, Fraser Town, Modi Road, like when I'm rapping in these spaces, right, on these streets, I immediately get a response. For example, I say लाडी ले बाबा का बिगड़ा हुआ बेटा मोम का दिल पर जिगरा लोहा मेरा, and they immediately respond like, whoa, you said something right there. And like it's like I'm having a real time conversation, right, because the audience is also responding on time. Apart from that, I perform in front of other audience which respects my art form, respects my performances, the music. They love the flows, they love the beats, they love the bounce, and like everything. They later go back home and search the song and come back to me and tell like, yo, I fuck with this song. Like I read the lyrics, or I am trying to understand, I'm trying to translate it. It's something like that. They still attempt. But these performances, the neighborhood performances are different.
thanks. So let's any of you guys. Sorry, no, it's two more. So you've got a album coming out now.
Yeah.
And
We've got an album coming
yeah,
out.
you guys have an album coming
Yeah.
out now. Do you want to tell us a little bit about it more?
The album is called Bangalore Kapota, and the album has been a journey, life-changing experiences we've seen throughout the album, and like suddenly for us, I'll tell you what it meant for us making the album. We wake up one day, we make a song. The second day, we are still trying to figure out why are we breathing? What is life? Do we really want to be alive? And the next day, we're again motivated. Like, let's go, bro. Fucking, let's make a track. And we've made a track in half an hour, like just studio session. We were recording, and the vocals weren't coming out or something. And we're like, fuck it, let's try something else. Let's make something new. Half an hour, we made a song. And there are songs that took us like years to like that. The whole album is a different piece altogether, and to kind of work all that out and make it into a one big picture, it has been uh, it has been draining and a lot of fun. We've learned a lot of things. At least I've learned the difference between a hat and a snare. um, yeah.
A hat and a snake.
Yeah, snare.
Oh, snare.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Yeah, the album, at least for me, it really changed my life. Like I was a complete introvert. Now I'm sitting here and I'm giving an interview. Like for musically also, it's been a wild journey for me. I learned lot of new shit. Like I taught him also what a hat and a snare is. I taught him. Okay, peace.
but I told him a difference between the metaphor and a simile.
Right.
What are 808s?
All right.
The thing that comes after 707.
Great. Great. Hey, thank you guys very much
Yeah.
for sitting with us. Um, we have a quest. We have a question from the audience.
Wow.
Okay, once.
Wow, we're live? Wow. Hi guys. I'm not like this in real life. What?
So the question from the audience is: does Dakni change the structure of the rap?
It changes the structure of the world that we are living in, not just rap. Rap is still a small aspect of the world. I think Dakni is a bigger thing, and like in the coming future, it's gonna be bigger, become even bigger and bigger and bigger, and yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, but before we end this,
Yeah.
I would like to say that Bangalore Ka Potta is being mistaken as my album, which is certainly not. It is a collective effort of my friends, Clan, One and Half, Demixx, AKX has a lot of. I mean, like without hyperbolic, I don't think most of the songs would have been there. Ojas Bhai helped us in wrapping up the whole album, and there is Vaishnav, without whom like nobody could have known about the album. Like nobody could have seen what the album might be, right? And without Agaahi Bhai supporting me, without Smokey, without Loud Silence, without all the people, like the album is the people. It's not just me. And yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you all, guys. Really appreciate it. And I guess we're going to move to the gig now.
Yeah, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. So yeah, this is Pasha Bhai, Clan Bokkaphod, One and Half, and Bangalore Hip Hop signing off.